The views and opinions expressed on From the Mouths of Madness are that of the panel and not of the Geeks Under the Influence Network or their sponsors, Amazon.com and tpublic.com. Listeners, beware. Coming straight from the Mouths of Madness, I'm one of the hosts, Lowdown. With me, as always, is...
F.U.Hunter. What's up, bitches?
Gory, bloody, beautiful naked bitches. I mean,
sharks underwater, bitches.
Let's be real. There was a lot of sexy, naked flesh in these
Bless
films.
him for it.
Seriously.
Eye-poking bitches.
Yes.
Yes.
Eye-poking bitches, yes.
Gratuitous eye trauma bitches. Undead, potentially in hell bitches.
And the descriptor of the night with us, we've got back again, Murphy Lawless.
Hello. I don't know why you keep letting me in here. Is it because I keep pressing my boobs to the door?
We need...
That does help. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. we need guests. No, I'm no, seriously. This episode specifically was because I remember you posted about recommendations, and a couple of movies I recommended were of Giallo, and you had said you already started watching some of them, and I was like, oh, well, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and I went through a bunch of them, and one of them is now one of my favorite Fulci films, and also traumatized me. Thank you very much, you motherfucker.
You are welcome. And that's what made me think about this, because like there's some other directors of the genre we want to do, and then the full-fledged actual just talking about the genre, because he'll bring some abstract, off-the-wall fucking shit that no one's ever fucking heard of. He'll be on that episode, and I'm not telling you now, people, because you have to wait.
I already know who you're talking
about. But tonight, we are going to be talking about the highlights of the Godfather of Gore, Lucio Fulci, who, man, I mean, even if all you've seen is Zombie, which is arguably his biggest film across the board, I will argue there are better ones.
Yeah.
But Zombie is definitely...
It's a good introduction, but not as gory and fucked up as some of his other stuff.
It's pretty fucking gory, though.
Yeah.
It's gory, but I'm just saying,
it's pretty fucking gory.
I think it's reasonably gory for a zombie film, though.
Yeah.
True. But a zombie film of the time, though. All we had really back then was Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead.
Yep.
I mean, that's
that was
fair. Which actually, funny you mentioned.
It's way gorier than Dawn of the Dead.
It was actually supposed to be considered a sequel to Dawn of the Dead because
that neither director agreed to.
Nope. Well, no. So the Italian cinema board didn't have any rules about like what would constitute like a sequel or a direct sequel. So that's why you see it framed as Zombie 2 in so many places because of that like sequel label.
Yeah, and both directors are like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like,
Did we ask?
George, I didn't. Yeah. No, George, believe me. Please, George.
Is that your Italian accent?
Yeah. Mamma mia. It was a spicy meatball decision. Wait, no, that's no?
Oh, that's terrible.
I only know Chef Boyardee. I'm sorry.
Oh, God. Oh. You at least watch, like, no, never mind. Anyway.
Or Fat Tony from Simpsons,
Yeah.
All right.
Anybody from The Sopranos is better than what you just did.
A little bit.
Hey,
Yeah.
Gabagool.
God damn it. All right. And
I'm going to kill you both.
A little bit.
Oh,
A lot of it.
oh, the Sopranos was even worse because it wasn't just it wasn't actually Italian. It was Jersey Italian.
Yeah,
that's a whole different thing.
Well, that's right. Right now we're talking about Sicilian Italian.
Exactly. That's a whole different thing. We could go into True Romance on that if we wanted to.
Oh yeah.
Technically, I mean.
Oh yeah, you should tell the story.
Aren't I the same skin tone as an eggplant?
Yeah, you
that
should go into Dennis Hopper's whole reasoning for Sicilian dark skin. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Watch this clip.
You great grandmother. Fuck. There we go.
Bad word.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're here to talk about Fulci, people.
Did we already get distracted?
We totally did, but a little bit on the man himself. Just before we gush all over the films. So he's born in June 17th, 1927 in Rome, which awesome, right? Talk about all the history there alone. Like, so I mean, the man was built around a whole movement happened in Rome in art. There was a whole movement that lasted, 10, 15 years? The Renaissance. How long did that last?
The Renaissance happened. Sorry.
We're talking about the...
What I'm saying is he grew up in a place that was like the center point like the Italian Renaissance. That was like
Yes.
huge.
Well, it was a reaction to Mussolini and controlling all the arts, and that was the way of branching out.
We got the freedom and all that. But it's like he grew up when all that happened. So like, I mean, like it's all there. All these ancient fucking artifacts, and you're just around. You're surrounded by that stuff. And if you have even the little tiniest fuse that what kind of is curious, I could just see that turning into a giant fucking atom bomb of just creativity from there, because you're surrounded by it, right? So that explains a lot to me about Fulci as well, and some other ones. We'll go into them down the road too. But the funny thing that it came to me is, as a teen, he became active in the Italian Communist Party, but it's the area, maybe, I don't know.
I think if I remember correctly, that also had to do with his parents and what they were active in. I do know that he remained vehemently anti-fascist throughout his whole life, as pretty much fucking anybody should. But it was a thing that he made a distinction about himself.
Yeah.
That he was notably left wing.
Yeah. No, he was like according to people close to him, he was a very radical left wing and socialist politics is what was kind of till his death was where he was at. But again, says that all he knew really was just that area and what that entailed there too. You know what I mean? So the scope was just kind of condensed to, he never really left Rome. He never moved out of Rome.
He didn't, but he
traveled a lot to film.
Yeah.
Traveled a lot to film.
Yeah.
Yes. And
but also, it's really inexpensive to make films over there because they actually give a shit about film. So
just like Canada,
if you want to make film, why would you flee a place that facilitates that?
No, I agree, 100%. Like, just we talked about that on Cronenberg, the Canadian film industry. Like, hey, we'll help you fund your movie.
Yep,
we believe in arts.
And
so.
you had that's where you had all those spaghetti westerns where like that whole industry just blew the fuck up because it was cheap as shit. And I mean, you had these directors coming up that like had a style, and I mean, Fulci he cut his teeth with spaghetti westerns.
Yep, started with comedy, mostly of the screwball variety.
And wasn't he just writing at that point though?
No, he also was directing.
Was he directing?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of his early films involved the actor Toto. He was a pretty well known persona of that time, and then moved on to kind of interchanged for a while between like the comedies and the westerns. And then right about 69 is where we see a hard turn. Few westerns speckled in, but
we
69
mentioned
is
one
the year.
about beforehand that was actually really good.
Yeah.
Silver Saddles, I believe it is.
Yeah, I really loved watching
that. For like another Italian director to tackle the spaghetti western.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of Spanish and Italian directors. I mean, that's basically who made the genre. He did a good job. But you're right, it didn't really start experimenting to the gore that we know now of Fulci moving forward until Don't Torture a Duckling. That's the first time he actually, because his westerns were a little gory in comparison, but Don't Torture a Duckling is when you really start seeing like bone protruding.
That's what I'm saying. His westerns, bullets are gonna bring some blood out, and yeah.
Exactly.
So Don't Torture a Duckling actually came out in 1972. Silver Saddle came out in 1978, which is actually something that I like seeing, having that in the middle of all of those horror films, because seeing the way that he muted down the tones of the trauma that he likes to put into films, but still doing it so effectively in the scene where he finds all of the monks have been killed, because there's never like an intense moment where you're watching them die. It's just you see the aftermath of these people in these positions, and you know exactly what happened to them. And I found that really effective. And the other thing that I liked from it is that it gave kind of a really clear read on Fulci's own like father-son feelings, because he had two daughters. He never had a son, and he had that kind of classic Italian masculine thing where he wanted a son, and so when he finally had a male grandchild, he freaked out and was actually like physically affectionate with them. And so seeing the relationship between Roy Blood and the kid, I can kind of see some of that mimicked, even though it's kind of a trope of westerns. The way that it came about, I
particularly for him,
for him, I can see some projection happening there.
And touching on the father thing. Yeah, he grew up in that era of machismo before it like dwindled away. But there was that hard Italian, like, you bear a son, that was the bloodline, the lineage, all that. I mean, that was hard. raises the Catholic. That's hard. So like,
Yup.
that was. I mean, I couldn't even imagine like just have like that's your mindset. Like as you're an adult, like I really like fucking beat your wife, throw her into a corner, but the fucking son though, the fucking son, smack him into being a man. That's what you're gonna do. I'm serious though. It was about beating him into tough submission, I guess. I don't know.
I think we're getting into one of his other films at this moment.
So no, I was actually going to touch on that. That actually ties into, if you really want to think about it, his earlier film, going back to 72's "Don't Torture a Duckling," where like the priest has that idea of he's killing these boys to keep them pure, so they'll go to heaven.
Right, that
There's
he's
definitely
actually saving them.
a father figure son love thing, but he's fucking insane.
Yeah.
So I feel like there might be a connection there too. I could be misreading that, but I feel like there's definitely like a parental thing going on there.
I feel like you're right, and there's also those are both films that whereas a lot of his films utilize some sort of like demonic or otherworldly presence. Both, even Silver Saddle and Don't Torture a Duckling, both focus on the monstrous aspects of humanity and what people are capable of.
In the name of God, apparently.
In the name of God. Actually, I have a great quote from him about God. For I have realized that God is a God of suffering. Spoken like a true Catholic.
So spoken like a true fucking Catholic. I got there's tons of poets that wrote
some
about
of his movies
that.
when they end. He likes to throw kind of fucked up quotes out there. Like I was just thinking about with House by the Cemetery. Like literally, it's like children are monsters, monsters are children. You know how it goes.
It's
like
fine. It's whatever. Yeah, it's fine.
Fuck kids.
But he did start dealing with the dark though as well in Don't Torture a Duckling, because initially you're led to believe that it's the gypsy who's making the wax dolls, and that's who killed the kids.
Gypsy's a slur. We should call her the witch.
Oh, well, the description of the movie, they still call her Gypsy. So.
I know.
And that's how it was written, so.
I just looked at my notes and realized that Lizard in a Woman's Skin actually came out the year before Don't Torture a Duckling.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen that one. That's one of the ones I haven't seen.
I really enjoyed that one.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's one that I watched with Groots. It's another one that plays off the monstrous aspect of humanity, where a woman is discussing with her psychiatrist all these dreams that she's having about her neighbor, who her neighbor throws these like wild sex parties, and in her day-to-day life she's like, oh, I would never associate with that woman, but she's having these dreams where not only is she having this like graphic lesbian relationship with her, but she eventually murders her, and then come to find out her neighbor's actually been murdered. And then it's a long chase to find out what the actual situation was, who did it. And she's also having dreams where like telling her psychiatrist that she saw these 2 dead hippies that were watching her, and that she runs into those hippies, and it's a very strange kind of like mindfuck.
I know it's definitely. I haven't watched the Black Cat either. I still have a few that I want to watch, but the majority of the ones that were kind of like the era of Fulci that is my era. Like I don't really want to watch it. I mean, I might watch a couple comedies. I'm not really going to go back and watch his comedies. Yeah. Sorry. Unless they all come out on one giant collection that I can just buy and I can just fucking run through them or something, I
found some on the Alamo Draft House. I found that later. I found that today, so I'm going to go back and watch it, because it also had one of the other ones that I was mad as fuck that I couldn't find. It was A Cat in the Brain.
That was like 94 or something when that came out?
Yeah, that was later.
Yeah,
but
which was the decline.
But it starred him essentially playing himself as like, a person who is losing himself in his movies and blurring the lines between reality and, becomes the killer himself. Okay. And I'm hoping it's going to be an interesting commentary on the way that horror is often read by people that don't watch horror or don't read horror.
Fair, yeah.
Which is something that he bucked back against continually, and I love him for it.
Well, because he was doing horror, he continually got fucked with the rating system and all that shit. I mean, he had to deal with that pretty much every major release that anybody in the horror world would generally know, or that's what they would go to. It's been cut to shit. Oh, yeah. Initially, it was cut to shit. So if you watch some of the movies you're getting ready to go into back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, you probably are not watching the most recent uncut version of the movie, because a lot of studios in the 2000s and 2010s have released a better, more true to fucking form vision.
I mean, I like to think, some of my favorite horror directors like Raimi and like Peter Jackson had to look at Fulci's movies specifically as inspiration.
Oh, yeah.
With movies like Dead Alive and obviously Evil Dead, just the amount of like just overwhelming gore and blood and stuff like that, just as a huge inspiration, because he did not hold back. I mean, like, he pushed what he could to get those movies out.
Some of those movies all came out, like, I mean, you look at The Evil Dead was 1981.
Yeah.
1981. When was Brain Dead? When was Bad Taste?
Brain Dead is much more recent. 92 is Brain Dead.
And so Bad Taste was...
Bad Taste, I think, was 90.
Was it 90?
Yeah.
So I think Peter Jackson definitely, but I'm not saying it wasn't the same range, but with 81, because Zombie didn't come out until 80.
Yeah.
Now, it might have been, I mean, it was released in Europe in 79, but it didn't hit America until, like, what, 80 or 80?
I would lean into, I guess, more Evil Dead 2, just the amount, I mean, Evil Dead, the first Evil Dead, there's some gore, but Evil Dead 2,
gory.
Literally, he's getting splashed.
Truckload of blood.
Yeah.
Blood.
And, I mean, I guess that's a good lead into, like, the next big one after Don't Torture a Duckling that is more horror. And even Don't Torture a Duckling, that's more of like a, I'd say it definitely is more on the thriller side. It's really horrific because it's children.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them. Like, six? Six or seven?
He taunts you with that in a lot of his movies where he's like,
but you never see them die graphically. And that's something that I noticed, because that's a big change from how he handles most of his other victims. You'll see hands, and then you'll see the body.
He doesn't really kill the kids as much as just make sure that they are traumatized for the rest of their fucking life.
You did watch the killer completely choke out that one kid death in the rain scene in Don't Torture a Duckling.
Oh no, that's true. But
it's not graphic.
I was gonna say, but compared to what we know,
it's not graphic. I'm just saying, like, he did, like, you know,
there's nothing
go all the way with
stuck
that
in any areas. Yeah.
But we get Zombie.
So he's holding back,
and everything ramps up completely. You know, the special effects, everything. Like you said, in Duckling, we started seeing, like, bone breaking, like when they beat the woman with the chain, because even though she was proven innocent, because she thought she had killed the children by creating the wax dolls and stabbing them with pins, but then she had no idea about any other information of all the other death scenes. They were like, oh, well, she's clearly innocent. She doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about. And the townspeople were so superstitious, because the movie does touch on superstition and just urban small town, like, just they can't let it go, even with facts. And they beat the shit out of her basically to death. Like, she didn't die right away. She slowly crawled to her death right up the interstate, and people kept passing her by, and then she died. But, like, that's when they show, like, her collarbone gets broken. They show like a lot of visceral stuff, which he didn't really do before. And then you come into Zombie, it was like, swinging my dick, woo, like, because
swinging them intestines around.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, I mean, that one scene where it's all four of them eating his the doctor's wife, and they're just like nom nom nom.
Now, I do have to ask
about the rest of y'all,
because I haven't seen a huge amount of his movies. But starting with Zombie, did he go after the eyes in his movies prior to Zombie, or was that the first movie
Zombie
where he is real?
Was the first that I know of, and he didn't do it in every movie.
No,
well, not just literally using it as an object to be stabbed and stuff like that, but like just the close-ups. Because
he teases you in City of the Living Dead, but it doesn't.
He does it in Beyond too.
No, he does it twice in the Beyond.
Yeah, he does it.
Two separate ones.
He's a little handsy with the eye in one of them.
The shot, especially with the eye that he is especially fond of, but he uses it in a lot of ways. He likes to show you what's going to happen and lets you kind of like let the tension build in your body where you're like, no,
stop.
Why are we still oh, it's still okay, we're still doing
still doing the thing.
Besides things
staring at this eyeball being penetrated.
but I'm not even saying just besides that. Like I noticed last night, I watched House by the Cemetery. And like there are so many close-ups of the character's eyes.
Oh, that's now that is a thing to all his movies.
And that's what I
show you.
And that's what I was.
I think that's more of I think he was a true believer in the eyes or the gateway thing.
Yeah.
And he clearly always showed you. That was his main close-up. Was like something happened, or a character walked in to survey. He focused on the eyes, and that's how you read the emotion. I think he was a real advocate for that.
He definitely was, and he operated more with like feelings, emotions, and scenery than he did with concrete plots, which I think is most exemplified in The Beyond. Which I think he referred to as an absolute film, which really was described similar to how Mandy is, where they're talking about it as like a series of images that he wanted to put together for a feeling, and not necessarily a linear plot.
So just anxiety. That's what he's going for. Just pure anxiety.
Literally.
I read it pretty normally, but that's my whole life. So
no, I mean the movie is like, spiders, eyeballs, cool.
Oh man, the spiders. Oh god.
Oh god.
I was just saying, like in the Beyond, literally one of the first kills is just a pair of eyes. Like that's freaks the dude out, falls backwards. Like it's just a pair of eyes close up, and the guy's like, "Fuck this," falls backwards. Like that's how he's. As the eyes don't have to do anything, just look at the person.
Also, can we talk about apparently how fucking bad your luck is if you were the person in an opening shot of a Fulci film?
No shit.
You were probably not living past that shot.
No shit.
Yeah.
So going from I don't really know. There's zombie is a staple. There's not much to really.
And there's the ultimate, like him just going all in, which
at
is
the end, dude.
Well, I'm just gonna throw out there. I mean, look, if you say zombie, one of the first things that people say when you say zombie is shark versus zombie. I mean,
the shark versus zombie.
That is such a huge thing that it looks.
And he's like doing the dance. He's like doing the dance at the bottom of the water, like.
It looks pretty goofy.
It's
just
goofy.
the concept is fucking awesome.
When I think that, I still think of all the scene before that where we get beautiful naked island girl.
Yeah.
Sorry, Fulci picked gorgeous women.
Yeah.
To parade around naked, but honestly, I feel like it's a natural though. I feel like it's natural for the environment that it's in versus how America views nudity.
Yeah,
too,
it's something that we find a lot more prevalent in overseas films, but Fulci does talk about himself feeling like a misogynist. I think we see a little bit of that in New York Ripper, or maybe a lot of bit of that in New York Ripper.
If there's one movie, there's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
But in other films, it's just kind of like, again, they're on an island. They charter to other islands. Like, why would she ever wear a bra? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, why would you do that?
If on the days where I don't have to wear a bra, I fucking don't, because those things are bullshit.
And if your culture is just like, I'm fucking swimming naked. Okay, why would you wear a fucking bikini? I mean, like, I just see, like, it all seems natural. Yeah. But again, when it is American view, you're like, ooh, yeah. Hello, boobies.
Way to make us sound immediately creepy.
Americans are frigid fucks.
I like the boobs.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm not getting better, but America is a very, constrained country.
Something that Elvira, Cassandra Peterson, had talked about at one point, where she was like, I love showing foreign films, but it was so hard because so much nudity happens in them. I'd have to cut out like 3/4 of the film and be like, look, it's a beginning and, someone died and then it's the end.
But titties, ass, great.
Yeah. Well, she, Cable.
Yeah. But, I mean, so for me, the big thing about Zombie was just the crescendo. And, I mean, it's just a fun film to watch. There's nothing super crazy about it. It's just a fun film. It's gross. You feel grody at times, like when they go into the hospital and there's just like puke and shit and fucking stuff.
What's crazy is Fulci, his movies, some of the makeup looks amazing. Some of the makeup looks very cheap. Like
the close-ups, they look awesome. The far away stuff, they're like, no, we're not worried about that.
I'm just saying, literally, zombie. You have that scene. You have that scene of the zombie coming out, and I have a fucking trick or treat mask of that because it looks fucking badass, and that looks awesome.
Yeah.
But then there's other zombies where it's like, here's some paint, just put it on real quick and look like a zombie. Like they're not even trying.
Fulci was quoted to say is like the difference between me and Argento is budget.
Yep.
That's one of his quotes.
I believe it.
And you're right. Like it's all the closest stuff. There's one scene in Zombie when there's that one that killed the wife. Is just like walking down the middle of the street, and all the huts and all the people are already sick. It's just vacant, and they do a close up, and you're like, oh god, fuck! It's a whole different style of zombie makeup. Like. Because, like I said, even Savini wasn't doing that with Dawn of the Dead. It was like the blue and then the blood. No one was doing the rotting, falling off kind of.
Even the first couple zombies on the boat at the beginning of the movie.
Oh yeah.
He really, I think he worked really hard to blend what we saw with the first incarnation of Romero zombies and classic voodoo zombies.
Oh,
and
totally.
really bring out the sickness feeling of the and why the doctors thought they could cure this thing.
It is a disease. They are. Yes. That makes total sense. And then he continued that with the City of the Living Dead, which was his next film, which was the beginning of the Gates of Hell trilogy.
Bam.
But like City of the Living Dead, I really, really enjoyed that movie.
No, there's a specific scene. There's a specific scene that I shouldn't laugh, but it just goes on so long. But when they're in the car and the chick's eyes start bleeding, you're like, That's pretty fucked up.
When
And then she just
puking up
starts
intestines.
throwing up the entirety of her insides.
So awesome.
And it just goes on. You're just like, God damn.
His big thing in that wasn't eyeballs, though. It was the squeezing the back of the head to squeeze the
that's
brain.
there's
It happened like, what, 3 times? That was 3
You don't
kills?
need this anymore.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, like if he didn't get, he started to go full blown gross and zombie. Still Living Dead, he was like, fuck it. I'm literally going to make a chick throw up her low, like, small and large intestines.
You're like,
All her guts.
It's just, and you watch, you're just
It just
I love
keeps
that the
going.
dude just sits in the car next to her like, oh my God. And I'm like, get the fuck out of
And
the
then what
car.
happens then? Brain squish, you know, like
Yeah.
he's just like, oh, that's gonna be terrible. And then like, well, you're just gonna have your brain into mush. So
Mm-hmm.
One of the notes I wrote for myself was, why does everyone in Fulci films react so calmly and slowly to screaming?
or just not helpful at all. Like that was the thing I
That's the
noticed
thing, not
last
helpful.
night with the house by the cemetery is that the whole basement scene, like
Fuck that
they
kid.
just like they watched
Truth.
the dad get his throat ripped out and do nothing.
Yep.
And earlier with the bat scene, where literally the dad runs upstairs with the bat and he's fucking stabbing it, and everybody's like, oh. Well,
I'm glad it's not me.
sucks. Nobody's helping at all. Like he is literally stabbing and throwing blood on everybody, and they're like, "Good luck with that." Like, yeah,
It's probably like, you wanted to fucking move here, so.
That's why The Cemetery is a very well-constructed film, but I don't give a shit about any people in that film except for maybe the little girl who is already
Wait.
in hell.
Wait, now you said the little girl. Oh, you meant the actual little girl, not the kid who's the little boy whose voice.
No, not
that voice is
absolutely. I
fucking
never mean
terrible.
Bob ever, unless I say that little shit.
Mom. It's just like God. I hate that was the scariest part of the movie is that kid's fucking voice.
The one thing that I really wish they had explored more, and I don't know if it was cut because I watched it on Shudder, is the girl that was like the babysitter. There are so many looks between her and the dad, and they talk about, oh, haven't you been here before with your daughter? And it's just this weird thing where like, are they taught like, is she supposed to be another child of his? What is her connection to this house? Why the fuck is this bitch going in the basement? That sort of thing. Like,
she's a
she's the one
babysitter
that
who lost track of the kid.
She's the one that unbarred the door.
Yeah.
So that film actually wraps up that's like the final film, though.
Mm-hmm.
You still have stuff in between. We're like,
Oh yeah,
jump,
no,
you keep
we're just
jumping,
jumping
you
around.
just keep jumping to that.
Yeah, but I had to say fuck that kid.
No, fuck. I agree. Fuck that kid. Annoying as shit. But so with See Living Dead, like it's like there's a gate of hell, one of the gates of hell is supposed to open up, and
It was opened.
It was open.
So the priest committing suicide was the trigger to open the gate, and if they were not able to kill him and close it, then it was just wide open, and that's it.
And when
Hell is
they
coming
go
to
down into the catacombs, we see all the bodies just coming to life, and you got all these fucking zombies. But again, they're all slow zombies.
You also get the angry dad moment with the drill, which
that shit was angry sheriff dad moment with the drill. He was ready. He fucking killed the dude, man.
That dude was like,
He straight killed him.
sorry, I didn't know. I was like, oh, well, what are you doing? Oh, fucking drill the head. Like that's
where like
that's worse than a shotgun.
That's where he fucks with you with the eye, though.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, here we go.
This thing.
Here we
It's like,
go.
oh no, there's temples. Okay. All right.
Do the fucking head. Sweet. All right. Then. Yeah, that movie was a lot of fun. I don't know. There's something about the movie I just enjoy. The way it unfolds, like I think it's just a good, well done, almost ghost-like, because initially it's a ghost killing, and then it's like zombie in the last like 30 minutes.
I mean, one of the scenes that honestly fucks with me is not even a kill. It's just when she's quote unquote buried alive. I don't do well with that shit. And like,
then he almost fucks with the eye thing there too, because a pickaxe comes through the.
Yep.
What idiot thinks to do that?
But the same thing happens
So many
in
axes
the house by the
right by the
cemetery
head, too.
when the kid's like, the dad's chopping through the door, and the kid's head's up against the door, and it literally goes in front of his face, and then behind him, and you're like, oh man, this dad is going to fucking accidentally murder his fucking kid. They love I've got the solution, sharp object that will cut through to save you.
That's where they got
murder you.
That's where they got the idea for Hatchet.
Yeah.
But what if it actually happens?
Yeah, exactly. I saved you. Oh,
Except
I didn't
it was
save
with
you.
a kid you liked.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the other things that Zombie and City of the Dead and really the whole Gates of Hell trilogy that I noticed, and I think it continued in the others, that he utilized it sound-wise is the sound of the wind. That was a big thing that I noticed through all of that, like to really try to bring in like that feeling of desolation. Like I feel a lot of futility in the Fulci films with like like that very bleak struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And I dig that. Like it's not. Sometimes I don't like happy endings for.
You never get
people.
one with Fulci though.
No.
Never.
I was just throwing all three of the Gates of Hell movies. He has these booming scores that immediately cut. Like when he cuts the scene, it's like bam, bam, and next scene. Like it's so sudden, like to get you like into the next scene and like stop. We're here at a different place now.
So at least on the first two of the films, he had his own dude, kind of like Argento and Goblin. He had Fabio Frizzi, literally Frizzi, F-R-I-Z-Z. I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that right, but it's like you got frizzy hair, bro.
Might
like,
be Fritzi.
Fritzi. Yeah, there you go. That makes more sense. And he did Zombie, Sea Living Dead, The Beyond, and Manhattan Baby.
Okay.
But I noticed a difference in like watching Don't Torture a Duckling, and I could tell it's kind of similar where it's jarring and it's like almost there's nothing really flowing. It's like single noises making the music. Whereas with Fabio. He did kind of start to get the flow of music together, but it was just heavy late 70s, early 80s, like just like Goblin, where it's like, oh man, you just lay it in, bro, lay it in. But the music on all his films are a big part too, and honestly, I think more so in The Beyond, which is the second one to the Gates of Hell trilogy, over the City of Living Dead.
Yeah.
Oh, the music to that played a lot, especially at the end. Fuck.
Oh my god, that whole film was like a painting. I loved it so much.
Yes, it's awesome.
And I know that parts of it are just total nonsense, but I'm fucking here for all of it. And there were so many shots that were just these like cinematic paintings, which I know were on purpose because the whole film was basically a cinematic collection of images, like a painting brought to life with, sounds and a loose things connecting them.
Well, and even brought it up. It even brought that into it in the opening scene where the original owner in the 20s was painting.
Yep.
He was not, hiding the fact that he was, so yeah, exactly. Like the whole movie looks like a painting. It starts off with, I forget the name of the original couple that lived there, but they were, killed for being accused of practicing black magic and.
Which is a theme that goes throughout, yeah.
Well, especially with the Gates of Hell trilogy because, what do you get in this movie? They open up a gate of hell. Yeah. So there you go.
And somehow the people that get killed we see in the beginning scenes or they're the ones that show up later on just to, enact vengeance in some way. Like it happens like, kind of over and over again. But we're like, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
No, they took the bodies away and then they came back and then the original people came back. And the makeup in The Beyond was. Well, I was gonna say, with The Beyond, where literally the plumber's like,
let me check this out, and
made me not want to be a plumber.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck that shit.
I see the problem. It's this guy that's gonna.
I see the problem.
I see the. Oh wait, no, I don't see shit now because his fingers are right in my fucking eyeballs.
But it pops it out like.
I know. Oh, is it that one or the backwards spike where it? Like that eyeball went flying. God damn.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Fucking A, dude. That shit
Honestly, I was more okay with that than the slow nailing through that guy and then the mortaring him to the fucking wall.
Yeah.
I was just like, suffocation through goop.
Like with House Soldier, one of the more slow kills is the real estate agent lady who stab. You're just
again.
like, God damn, and then finally stab in the neck, and you're almost a relief because at that point you're like,
thank you, she's fucking dead.
You stabbed her like 5 times. Like, all right, now let the blood drain out. Yes.
Yeah.
The House by the Cemetery was just definitely a film. Like the whole time I was like, why are you motherfuckers so calm about this? There is a goddamn grave in the middle of y'all's living room.
What movie is that they midway in the movie they go, all right, there's some zany shit going on. We're moving the fuck out. And then they don't move the fuck out, and like they all pretty much get killed. And it's like, y'all plan to move out, just pack your fucking bags, but it's like a process. Like they're already like, okay.
Well, they had to wait because they went to the realtor company and was like, your house is gonna be ready for a few days.
It's called a hotel, man. Yeah. I mean, it's real simple.
Our house isn't ready. You're paying for a hotel. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's what. Or just pay for it. Your lives are in danger.
Y'all found the babysitter's head. Go sleep in the fucking car somewhere.
Dad didn't make the decision, and he got roadhoused. All right, like I mean, like. And seriously, that's where it got all fucked up. So
yeah, Roadhouse.
Yeah,
Dad got Roadhouse.
When I was watching that and that throat got, I was like, "Fucking Roadhouse!" Like, yeah.
So out of the three, the Gates of Hell, like I feel like House by the Cemetery is the weaker of the three. It doesn't really fit as well as the other two do, as far as
storyline. It's the kills. I think are somewhat. I think are pretty good, but story.
No, the kills are good. No, I think the kills are fine.
I liked the look of the doctor. I liked the combination.
Freudenstein.
Yeah.
And there's a shot.
Freudstein, yeah. Where he's like this.
Oh, he looked fucking awesome.
Insect zombie.
Yeah, it's
thing
so gross.
with like a Confederate outfit on.
Yeah, it's gross.
Oh, it was almost like that.
I do like
that. Button down vest thing.
button.
That
no, I agree. He looked
kind of
awesome.
military doctor look.
He looked wet.
But there's a shot I really fucking loved where when the mom and the kid are trying to like escape, and he grabs her and drags her down, and the camera follows her going down there, and like just the effect, and then it cuts back to the kid, and you see him farther away. Like it's an amazing way of just the sound and the way he shot it.
That is something that I absolutely have to give that film, is that the tension, he kept up the tension for almost the entire film with very few breaks.
Yeah.
And through that last scene, it just kept slowly escalating, where like, I didn't care if these people died, but I was still waiting to try to figure out what the fuck was about to happen.
Well, he would walk towards them, and then he'd stop and step a little back, and then like, and almost like,
if I was
come on, and you're like, no, I'm gonna kill you. I just want to get myself together before I murder the fuck out of you.
If I was a bug zombie that had just been waiting for new people to move into this house repeatedly to murder them, then I'd probably take my fucking time too.
Where are you gonna go? You clearly didn't leave, dumbass.
Yeah. like left your tombstone in the middle of the goddamn living room.
Yeah. Oh, you want to discover a tombstone? Okay.
Yeah. How is that not weird to anybody?
But then the dad's like, yeah, I mean, sometimes you have tombstones in the house.
No, because they explain it like, it was because the cold New England winters they would bury. No, they fucking did it.
Oh, that's still weird, dude. That's still
nobody
very weird.
Fucking buried anybody in their fucking living.
I don't know if you noticed this, but your house is slowly collecting new bloodstains.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talked about this
before
recording, but the main tie-in that I saw with the Gates of Hell is at the very end, where the little girl rescues Bob, but the way she rescues him is basically pulling him into the beyond. So it's not so much, it's sort of a rescue. It's a rescue from what the fate that could have been, but instead
going to hell.
He's condemned to the stasis that she and her mom live in.
Yeah, because when they get out, like they're basically in Ghost World, essentially.
Yeah.
And in the end of Beyond, they're in hell. And I swear, we discussed this before the recording too, that with Sea Living Dead, it's got to be they're in hell, or they didn't actually close the gate, or something happened that just but they don't show it because it got fucking edited. Sorry.
Well, we kind of know that they didn't close the gate, because remember, there's that moment where she goes, "It's midnight."
But they all burnt.
Right, they burnt, but they didn't close the gate before midnight, and
so they burnt the ones there, but the gate's still open, and it's going to come from somewhere else besides a fucking tomb.
Because if I was a demonic entity that had to function by some sort of law, if you fucked up by even a minute, guess what, motherfucker? It's party time.
Truth.
I think of the three, in my opinion, the Beyond is probably the strongest of those three.
Yeah, agreed.
But there is one scene that aggravates the fuck out of me, and it's when the doctor is literally just keeps not shooting the zombies in the head.
Yep.
And just close up, chest, head. Like, just no, head every time. Stop wasting fucking. Like, I kept yelling at the goddamn screen the first time I saw it. Like,
same thing happened with Zombie.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Just
go for the head.
They literally shoot him in the head once and it works. It's like, why are you still shooting him in the chest?
It's like the doctor was
a really
like,
shitty shot.
No, it seemed like the doctor was like, oh, you shoot him in the chest twice and then you shoot him in the head. It's like, no, dude, you're wasting fucking bullets, man. One time in the head, walk away.
Oh, I don't mean. I know listeners, we have been bouncing around, but there's one awesome shot we didn't even. That was a big part of Zombie. A great way to end was the ending of Zombie, where like they show the city and the walk on the bridge. Like, that is probably better. I mean, outside of the massive zombie horde outside the hospital at the end of the movie, like that scene. With them listening to it on the radio, they're like, oh, no one will believe us if we don't bring them back. Blah blah. Yada yada. So we got to keep them locked up, and then turn on the radio. It's like, oh, I don't think there's any way to stop them. We don't know what to do. And like the whole city's taking over. And you're like, oh shit. And then they show it. And you're like, fuck.
Well, that image of them on the bridge
is fucking awesome,
like,
dude.
They used it on some of the poster for the movie, promotional and stuff like that. Yeah, it's amazing. Just
amazing
one shot.
And then it just pans out and then credits. You're like, oh.
Yeah. Everybody's fucked.
Everybody's fucked. So sorry we had to bounce back to that. But that is definitely worth talking about. Is that ending was fucking beautiful. And so after the House by the Cemetery, the big one came out in 82. Oh boy. On the New York Ripper.
The New York Ripper.
And this is unfortunately one of the ones I have not seen, but I I am planning on seeing it very
After
soon.
you watch it, I'm going to need you to text
It's
me.
free
I will.
on
I
Shudder.
will. Yeah.
It is. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
still on Shudder.
Mhm.
It's very worth a watch. It's definitely, it's one of my 2 favorite Fulci films currently, and one of my favorite slashers since Steven recommended it. I like it because not only there's great kills, there is rampant deviant sexuality, and she's not necessarily punished for being a deviant sexual person.
No.
And I like that. He never punishes his deviants for being deviant.
It's for something completely else.
Right.
Completely different.
Right. It is the coincidence of being in a place.
Yeah, it's like you being a female is the thing.
Right.
The coincidence is that it's usually involving around you doing something sexually.
Right. Well,
You know?
it's what that particular character that we're discussing that is the cornerstone of sexuality in this film that I would say. She, like, his big thing was on against women who are living their lives because his child could not.
Exactly. She's an oxygen tent, for fuck's sake. Ugh.
Yep, which I think is a parallel to Fulci's daughter Camilla getting injured because and I kept seeing like that one of his daughters had died in an accident, but that's not correct because that's not discussed anywhere. And I found the documentary Fulci for Fake, which is great. If you haven't watched it, that's on Tubi. And it's all interviews with people that knew him, and including Camilla and Antonia, his daughters. And so she talks about the accident where she got thrown from a horse and broke her back. And that was right around that time.
So you have to go. Yeah, as a parent, you still have to be going through something with that, right? I mean,
really, the catalyst for his thrillers becoming much more dark, and for that, the beginning of that era was his wife's suicide. Because she found out she was terminally ill and basically sent the kids off to the movies with their uncle. She was the only one in the house, and when they came back, no one answered the door, and so they put the kids in the guardhouse while they went to investigate, and it was suicide by gas oven.
Damn.
Yeah, so that is where we get some of the aggressive trauma from Fulci's life.
yeah.
So yeah, that happened in '69, and that is the turning point where we got Beatrice Cenci that year, and then moved forward.
I just look at the standards of Hollywood now, and if you look at these movies, like the Gates of Hell movies, are all back to back to back years. I mean, just now, like
2 in the same year.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, when do we ever get, like, besides the production, filming all together and then breaking them up to parts? You don't get this consistent.
You didn't
like,
rest.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't get this consistency for, like, I mean, fuck, what, 4 movies in like 3 years? Like, that dude just kicked ass, and none of them falter really. Like, you know, we could pick things here and there apart, and some of the Gates of Hell trilogy, but for the most part, they're all 3 strong movies, and that motherfucker back to back to back. Like, it's crazy.
The Black Cat also actually came out in '81. So
3 movies in a row.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've watched that, you can talk about. I haven't watched it yet.
It's based off of the Edgar Allan Poe story.
I figured.
And the cat, is used to symbolize the soul of the narrator, which is black, mutilated, and decaying, and the theme of guilt being an inescapable and a far-reaching consequence. And trying to think of a good way to describe it. Basically, there's an interesting relationship between the Black Cat and the priest, where he is. Well, he may not be a priest. I read into that. He looks like he lives in an abbey, so I decided he was a priest. But he communicates with it psychically and is sort of losing himself in the cat, where first he believes he has control over it, but every time the cat gets a chance, it attacks him. And eventually, like, the cat is, leading to deaths of people where he was like, no, I didn't want this, but subconsciously he kind of did. And then eventually the cat is the thing that betrays him, where he gets so confident in what he is doing that he believes he will never get caught. And that bit of guilt that the cat represents, that everlasting guilt, is what gives him away. So it's something interesting to me, and it really did a lot to blur reality and madness.
Sounds like a better version of Monkey Shines.
But it's as good as the Jeffrey Combs Black Cat.
Yeah.
Questionable.
Two totally different styles,
something
though.
that
Totally different styles.
Yes.
Totally different styles.
Definitely worth a watch. I enjoyed watching it.
I do want to watch. I just didn't. I ran out of time to watch that. Yeah, it was that one in the There's another one we talked about earlier that I wanted to
the
get
cat in the Cat in the Brain.
Cat in the Brain. I wanted to watch that too. Anyway, the New York Ripper.
Yeah,
the movie was fucking unsettling. like on so many levels. Like, or for instance, because we're not going to go pace by pace with the movie from start to finish, but like, there's one scene where he's chasing the woman through the subway, and then she hides in a theater, but he comes out from under her, like he like withered his way under the seats to come out between her legs.
Yep.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yep.
That shit was like, what?
He reversed birth? Holy shit.
It was just, but he quacks like a duck.
Yeah, he talks like Donald Duck.
He talks like Donald Duck. He's like,
I know what I'm watching later on tonight.
You gotta watch it. It's so fucking creepy, dude. So fucking creepy.
I did not guess that killer, and I'm not going to give it away.
No,
because it's too fucking.
We're not going to.
I will, however, warn you that foot sex does happen in that fucking movie. I was not prepared for that. God damn you, Steven. A toe went into a vagina, and I'm still not okay with it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I know that it's some people's kink. I don't. It's totally okay if that's your thing and it's consensual, but I didn't consent to that. Damn it! I just wanted to see violence.
I mean, when you get the whole glass bottle to the vagina.
But
it didn't bother you? No. Or how about when the mortician turns around? He was like, I mean, yeah, he just stuck it in and right up the old Jolly Train. Like, what the fuck? Holy shit! No, Jolly Trail, right up the Jolly Trail. What the fuck? Who describes stabbing a woman in her vagina and slitting up her stomach as in the Jolly Trail?
I bet if we Googled, we could find a lot of weird ass euphemisms. If I'm being super honest, especially if we go back to like Victorian times.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting that.
Oh my gosh.
But then again, 80s. But that lead the lead detective in that movie, like I wanted to like him, but he is like a fucking asshole.
Yeah, he is.
Like he's just a straight up POS, man.
I feel like he gaslights the shit out of the main chick too.
Yeah, totally does.
Like he makes her feel like she's absolutely bonkers.
Mm-hmm. But when it came down to his pro, he was he wanted to get all touchy feely and worried, right? I'm like, wait, come on, man, hold on,
hang
on, just because your piece is getting attacked, you need to slow your roll. Yeah. All of it matters, not just when it affects you. So now, that movie, it builds up suspense. You see a lot from the killer's perspective, which is awesome. You see a lot of hand stabbing motion, Hitchcockian style.
Actually, he really went for that. He talked about that was one of the big styles that he really wanted to emulate for that film, and I think he did a pretty decent job.
I feel like he did. Oh, I feel like I forgot to mention that with House by the Cemetery, the original screenwriter was seriously inspired by The Turn of the Screw with that story.
Yes.
I've thought about you specifically because of House on Haunted Hill.
The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Yeah.
Bly Manor is the one that's based on Turn of the Screw. The Haunting of Hill House is based on The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, okay. I thought the first one had some turning of the screw involved with it.
No, Flanagan did one section entirely on one book, and then is moving on. So like each of the seasons is going to encapsulate one story.
I got you.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, he. I wish the other film that I wish that I could have found a copy to watch was Beatrice Cenci, which came out right in '69, which is a classic story of the historical figure of Beatrice Cenci. I looked it up, but it's basically she's like plotting the murder of her husband or escaping her husband somewhere in like classical Roman times, and I think really ties into what you were talking about with him growing up amongst all of that like history and architecture, and I think that's the root of it, and also like that big turning point towards thrillers as we discussed. So,
and I know like there's another one that I have watched, but I didn't get a chance to rewatch it. It was The Manhattan Baby,
I haven't seen that one.
It came out right after New York Ripper.
Okay,
it was like his next. I don't know if it was directly after, but I know it was his next horror.
Okay.
But I didn't get a chance to rewatch it, and like I hadn't watched that in 16 years, so there's no way I don't even remember really key points of that film. But I do know that, again, I haven't watched this in about as long, but for the listeners that we mentioned, he did a film with Argento, and it was Waxwork.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be a loose remake of House of Wax.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard and read mixed reviews about the film. So, I mean, generally positive, but just with the duo, you feel like it would be like a higher rated positive.
I think that it was a rather quick project, if I remember correctly, and that's why they were hoping to do, like Argento specifically was hoping to do another project with him to really like bring him back. And it just, their schedules kept not lining up until...
Because Because the last thing he was filming was Zombie 3, but he had to leave the project 6 weeks in because of his illness, and someone else had to finish it.
It was complications of diabetes, wasn't
And
it?
liver.
And liver, yeah.
Diabetes and liver.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then from then on, he was just downhill, I believe, so.
Yeah.
But on a side note, he attended a Fangoria Horror Convention in January 96, and he apparently showed up on crutches with his foot in a cast, and he was telling all the attendees that he didn't realize his movies were so big and impactful. Idea. He had no idea. And he's surrounded by these gore whores. Yes, we love your movies, but he had no idea until 2 months before he died, because he died in March of 96.
I would say especially...
Could you imagine, though, your whole life making films, and you're big in your home, which is fine. I mean, I'm appreciated. Like, people get what I'm going for. They understand the artistic style behind the style of films I'm making. But, like, to know that across the other side of the world, you're huge, and you find that out 2 months. At least he found it out. But it's like, I wonder how that would have affected him if he'd have known that, like, at a certain point in like the late 80s, early 90s, like his shit was massive over.
But
there.
that makes it even more impressive that was showing the passion he had. That he didn't know that it was getting all this attention. He just wanted to make these films.
I don't think it would have affected his passion. I think personally,
budget.
Yeah. Budget and
the big thing.
I think personally too, like, with all the stuff he had dealt with, and then with the illness, like, mentally, I feel like it might have done a lot for him. It's like, oh, I got more money, I got motherfuckers that want this, I'm gonna go hard. Like, with everything that I have now. Like, I don't think we would have seen a turn in his movie style. I think if anything, it would have been for the better.
He wasn't he wasn't terribly old when he died.
No, he was what was he, 60 something? He was
like 69. Yeah.
It was 27 to 96.
I don't know how to do math.
I'm sorry. That's
I looked it up. That's old. I don't know.
That's 70.
Okay.
That's not old.
That's not that
old. Romero was what,
senior.
90?
I didn't say senior. I said old.
90. What was Romero? 94? 93? Was he 90? Right at 90? Stanley was what, 90 something?
96, I believe. God damn.
I don't know. If the 70s doesn't seem super old, it's like, it's old, but it's not like the boom, boom, boom of, like, I'm knocking on the door here.
It is crazy, though, that Zombie, it got the attention, but, I mean, he passed away in 96. That movie got this huge, like, resurgence in the 2000s thanks to, just the zombie kind of trend coming up and people going to backtrack into movies, like the Dawn of the Dead remake and stuff like that. And then people kind of backwards, and a lot of people fell on that movie. And, like, to the point, like, how does this end? Literally, one of the main characters is wearing a zombie versus shark t-shirt in there, and I was like, that's fucking cool as shit.
How'd this end?
Yeah. God damn it, Seth Rogen.
This is the end?
This is the end.
This
Thank
is
you.
the end.
Yeah.
This is the end, yeah.
But, like, literally, he's
shark.
wearing the shirt of the zombie versus shark in there. And, like, and again, that movie just took off way after he passed away.
It's true. And, I mean, we're running on time here for this episode, but there are, I don't know if you two knew, or our listeners know, but he was definitely Hitchcocky in other ways, how he cameoed in most of his films.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, that was...
Definitely in the Beyond.
Well, in the Beyond, he was the town clerk.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and...
I think it was, I can't remember if it was The Beyond or In the House by the Cemetery. The position that he played, he was like, I'm going to do this part. And they were like, okay, Lucio, you sure? And he was like, yeah. But he doesn't speak English. And they're like, okay, but you need to know the words. And he was like, no, it'll be fine. So he just went out and, like, started cussing in Italian, and that's what they had to dub.
They just dubbed over.
They just dubbed, like, you guys are terrible out there. What are you doing? I can't believe you. Get away from me now.
If there's a scene,
you are a jerk.
It's like outside of one of the buildings. I want to say it's in House by the Cemetery, outside the archives building.
Because he's Professor Mueller in the House by the Cemetery.
Yeah. I want to say it's like right outside there. I remember him holding the briefcase, but yeah, if his mouth doesn't match up, there's a reason.
A lot of stuff doesn't match up in the film. You got to get used to that watching a Fulci film.
You should always give people heads up about is if dubbing is going to bother you.
But apparently the American dubbed version lines up better than the Italian dubbed version,
which is kind of crazy.
From what I've read, I haven't. Why the fuck would I watch the Italian? Because all of it was dubbed. Like, none of it was. The vocal tracks had to be in both versions had to be put over the movie track.
Him and Argento always just mixed. It wasn't all Italian, all American. It was just this blend, and then just dub it how you want it.
Actually, real quick, there are two actresses that
He does reuse a few actresses, yeah.
Yeah.
Catriona MacColl is in all 3 of the Gates of Hell trilogy. Yep. She's Mary Woodhouse, Liza Merrill, and Lucy Boyle, and she plays wildly different characters in each of them. And it was just somewhere where I was like, wait, I know that face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he reuses the detective too in from a New York Ripper. He's actually in what is it, The Beyond?
He's in the House by the Cemetery.
House by the Cemetery.
Yeah, which actually in that Fulci for Fake documentary, he's speaking because apparently like he and Fulci became like best friends. Because, like, Fulci started out treating him like shit, and he was like, you are not going to talk to me like this, and if you are, I'm going to get on a plane and leave. And then Fulci started laughing, he was like, all right.
I like
my
you, bro.
guy.
Yeah,
Oh, my God.
And then it was
You talk to me like that, my guy. Yeah.
Stop. Stop.
My guy there. Look
I
at
could
that.
stab him with this pen if you...
You sound like a fucking slow jerky boy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
I'm just saying, you can see, like, all right, I know.
You're my guy.
No, I'm just saying, you earn my respect now. Like,
That's better. You were like, you're my guy. You're my guy.
I'm just saying, I can see him literally embracing him and like, all right, yeah.
Well, it'd be like this because
You call me an asshole.
Fulci would lean. He'd have to reach up.
I'd put the step stool down and then hop up.
New York Ripper. He had that one scene as the mayor. In Zombie, he was the chief newspaper. The journalist guy, chief, whatever. It's weird because at first you don't recognize him because later in life he had the mustache and beard, so he was all clean shaven in everything he did that he cameoed in. It was just, I don't know. It was just,
and his face is a lot rounder than I expected without.
Well, the beard again, it frames things. So once you take it away, you realize, oh, he's got like actual kind of flat, rounded to the side head.
Yeah. That's interesting. Oh, the other actress is Florinda Balkan. She's the main character in A Lizard in a Woman's Skin, and also she plays the witch in Don't Torture a Duckling.
I got you.
Yeah, she's that character, but she's got a really palpable sexuality about her that I really love. And it's a weird sexuality too.
I mean, she was definitely a very beautiful, attractive woman. Like, and it has to do with the skin tone and the hair and the dark hair and like just the facial features from. Where I'm assuming she's Italian.
From seeing her in A Lizard in a Woman's Skin, I can tell you that the rest of her's great.
I need to watch that.
All right, yeah. Put that on the list.
She didn't get any of that in Duckling, but also I don't know if I'd want to see that at that point because that means she would have been like beaten and I'm okay with that. That's fine. So, all right, that's all right. That's it for the talking about Fulci.
Yeah.
Hope you guys learned something. If not,
I know I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I need to see New York Ripper now.
You definitely need to see New York Ripper.
That's on my list.
There are like 40 Fulci films, so please do seek out the rest.
Oh
of
yeah,
them.
there's fuck ton. There is. I mean, woo.
Yeah.
And always look, if you can, look for the newest release of the film, especially if it's the horror films, because I'm willing to bet a lot. Like I said, I know the original time I saw a lot of these films was back in the mid to late 2000s, and they were not the versions that I rewatched.
Well, I'm pretty sure
recently.
at least all 3 of the Gates of Hell trilogies.
Yes, they've all been re-released. And also Blue Underground has re-released them on Blu-ray.
But I'm just saying, if you just want to jump in for a weekend, I believe they're all on Shudder.
Yeah, the Gates of Hell are all on Shudder. Zombie is, the New York Ripper is. I can't remember if there's a 6th one. There's a couple.
City of Living Dead is.
Oh, yeah, that's part of the Gates of Hell trilogy. Right, yeah. There's a couple on Prime. I had to rent a couple on there, and then Tubi also has a surprising number of Fulci films. If you don't mind sitting through a couple commercials, it's free.
Yeah.
But an Alamo Drafthouse was the other thing that I had found today that might be a viable source of renting some of the ones, because I could not find a cat in the brain to save my fucking life.
And Don't Torture a Duckling, I watched free on Vudu.
Oh, I rented that from Prime.
It was free. So as long as you have an account, you sign up, you watch it free with ads.
Okay.
And Black Cat is actually, I think, free on that.
Okay, great.
So, and then also I've ordered it. It hasn't come in yet, but there is a biography book, Splintered Visions by Troy Howarth, about Lucio Fulci that I want to read. So that's coming in the mail.
Oh, nice.
There's actually another one too, but I'm not telling you the title of it. Yet.
Ass.
Dun dun dun.
Bum, bum. Okay.
All right. So, now we're done with talking about the Fulci, but we're not done with the episode.
You can't do that to me,
I do it better than you, man.
You can't just add
you
it
just
in
don't.
and then look at me and say, yeah. See? Oh, Mia.
You just sound terrible.
I'm going to get my Sicilian partner to spank both of you.
And,
See, I'd be good. All right.
But before we get to the next thing, we got to talk about our sponsors. First off, we got Amazon.com. Go to joypodcast.com, click through the Amazon link, shop Amazon as normal. We just get a little kickback. Appreciate that shit. And then there's TeePublic. Go to GOPodcast.com. Click on the TeePublic link. And that's where all our merch is. All the designs for all the shows under the network. You can get on any fucking thing you can think of.
How many designs?
I don't fucking know. I seriously am stopping. I'm not counting anymore.
Hold on, I'm just it's a fuck ton.
It's a fuck ton.
Yeah,
Still a fuck ton. Some are good. Well, all of them are good. Some are very pertinent. Some are nonsense, but they're all good.
Yeah, for everybody.
They're for everybody. And also, while you're on GeoPodcast.com, check out all the other shows under the network. There is something for everybody. We all is good quality content. Please check out the other shows under the network. And now that that's done, it is time for
Stump the Host.
Here we go. Stump the host. That's right. Now,
I'm a bit of a
Murph,
slump. I'm a bit of
what
a
do
slump
you
recently.
you got some stuff for us?
I do. I remembered to write questions this time.
Yay.
I think that they're still going to be decently easy, so.
All right, so who
I hate to admit this, but I did lose the last one.
You're still winning by 2.
But I'm still winning by 2, so we will allow
Okay,
Murphy
you
to
smug
decide.
motherfucker, you're going first.
No, man. I'm probably going to get all of them wrong. I saw that look. I saw the look they had.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What is the name of the Fulci biography written while he was still alive?
Spicy meatball. I don't know.
What the fuck, dude?
I have no idea.
Oh, Jesus.
I have zero.
Steven?
I don't know.
Black hat.
No.
Okay.
It's called The Eye of the Witness.
God damn it. I should have said something about I.
But you wouldn't have gotten the eye of the witness.
Well, I would have said I.
You're not going to guess that.
I love Fi. I don't know. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
God damn it.
Steven.
Yes.
Don't make that sound at me. Fulci shares the Godfather of Gore title with one other director. Who is it?
Oh, Cronenberg?
No.
Who?
Hunter.
I'm just going to say Argento.
Nope.
God
He wasn't
damn it.
gory.
It's Herschel Gordon Lewis.
Who the
Oh.
fuck is he?
It's fine. We'll
I
get
don't think if I've seen this movie, I don't know the guy's name. So that's education.
Oh, is that Carnival's-
education for me.
Now that you've asked me, I can't name any of the films, but he's important and he did the splatter gore genre and he's great.
Okay, I believe you.
I literally am drawing a blank on the one movie that most people recognize it by, so god damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to say Carnival of Souls, but that's not it.
No.
No.
No, that movie's terrible.
Yeah, no.
That was horrible 90s horror. All right, Honor.
So it's still, was it 0-0?
It's 0-0.
Oh, yeah. Just the way Murphy likes it. Okay.
I'm sorry.
All
No,
right.
you're not. You're not fucking sorry. You never are. Don't fucking lie to us.
Okay.
All right.
Who paid for Lucio Fulci's funeral?
Argento.
Yeah.
I knew if
I was going to guess that.
If I keep saying Argento, eventually it would be an answer.
Yeah, I knew it was a fucking guess,
Damn.
but I was going to guess that too. It was like Argento did. I don't fucking know.
That's the second time I said Argento. I knew sometime it was he was going to be in the right answer. All right. God, let me win by one. Just this one answer.
Okay. Steven.
Yes.
All right. The Book of Enoch is mentioned in City of the Living Dead. The Book of Ebon is in The Beyond. What is the name of the book in the house by the cemetery?
Oh, fuck if I remember. I don't.
The Book of Piedmont.
No, it was a trick question, you motherfuckers. There wasn't a book.
Oh, yeah, there wasn't a book. But that would be a true or false. Like, that's not a...
No, because the answer is there isn't one.
God damn it. All right, well.
All right. Well,
There wasn't a book. That's right.
Which bothered the shit out of me.
That was a
Damn it.
consistency thing.
I'm sorry, I thought.
there's a lot of
No.
books in the movie, but just not a
Not
specific
a
book.
book
Yeah.
that is specifically
Dude hangs
tied
himself
to the
next
dead.
to a bunch of books, so I mean,
None that's specifically tied to the dead.
yeah.
No, none that have an official title, as it were.
Mm-hmm. You might give me
Okay.
about one, Hunter.
All right. What two films is one on top of the other / uno sul alta considered the precursor of?
Could you repeat that? Yeah.
What
Okay.
the fuck?
So one of Fulci's films called
Mhm.
One on Top of the Other. In Italian, Una sul alta it is considered the precursor of two films in particular. If you can get one of them, I'll give it to you.
One on top of the other?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm just gonna say
It's firmly in the thriller genre for One on Top of the Other.
yeah. I have no idea. Beyond.
Like,
So
how does that make sense? That's where I'm confused. How does
So it is a film that these two films have been directly related to, where they're saying that they took their inspiration directly from this film. A lot of the beats from this film are replicated in those movies. If it's not a good question,
one of the
if
two.
it's not a good question, I have others written.
Mm.
I can tell you the answer, and we can do a different thing.
I mean, I think
I'm
I don't
confused
understand.
by it, yeah.
I'm confused by the
Okay.
question.
It's sort of like I'm trying to think of
Like inspiration.
yeah, basically like, but it more direct than that. Like you can see like
Are we talking about Fulci movies or not Fulci?
no,
movies?
they're not Fulci movies.
God, okay,
so the
that's-
Fulci movie is the inspiration for these other two more recent films.
Oh, more recent films.
Yes,
Okay, then Color Out of Space.
No.
God damn it.
not that recent. This one I'm gonna.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I think we're trying to figure out what
Yeah.
wavelength to
I'm
go
not gonna
on
be
with
this
this.
shitty to y'all. The two films are Basic Instinct and Body of Evidence.
Yeah,
We would
never went
We
there.
were nowhere
Yeah.
in that direction.
Reel it
at all.
in, bring it back in, Murph. A little more simple. Come on,
sorry, I'm
like,
sorry. Okay.
like.
What, no sliver?
So, this is still yours.
All right.
Okay. Who did Lucio Fulci say the black cat was made as a tribute to?
I mean, Edgar Allan Poe.
Mm-mm.
So I have no idea.
It relates to Poe.
Oh shit.
Lenore.
No. No. If you
That's the Raven. Yeah.
Who? Just tell us.
Did you want you put your hand up? Do you want to?
He already answered.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
saying.
Doesn't
I already
work that
answered.
way.
It's Roger Corman, because Roger Corman made all of those Edgar Allan Poe films,
I was gonna
and
say-
Fulci loved them.
I was gonna say Vincent Price. I thought maybe there would be something
No.
like that. So,
No, you were
yeah.
close, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's Roger Corman. That
that-
was who he said
Yeah.
You might
specifically.
be winning with one.
It was a
All right,
tribute.
this
I
is
got one.
it. This is it.
Seriously, man, these questions are fucked, dude.
There's no pressure, but this is it.
Oh, I want to make you use the trivia place from now on.
What?
Jesus
But I like
Christ.
I worked hard.
You put too much thought
There's
into
no
these
pressure,
questions.
man. You just
I
have to
got
get this, or I win this. Go ahead.
I'll stab you for your bad Italian accent and your
Seriously.
smugness.
Hey, come
Okay.
on.
Mhm.
All right. What other film is The House by the Cemetery compared to in regards to structure?
Oh, shit. No, I know this. Oh, my God.
Yeah, you do.
Damn it. The Fall of the House Usher?
No.
Fuck me.
Hunter?
Amityville Horror.
Nope.
No. No.
Actually, that was something that they had discussed, but it's not the direct comparison. The direct comparison is Inferno because they came out
Oh,
so close
yeah.
together. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
And the way that their structures,
Let's
their
All right.
do,
themes
let's
are
do a
different.
quick calculation.
So you're back up to 3.
One.
The one that I
You're back up. You're back up to winning
I'm
by
not
3.
bragging about this victory. I got 1, and it was just me yelling this other director's name over and over again until it fit into the answer.
So,
All right.
the other question I had was really easy, and I thought it was too stupid.
Trust me. We want.
I was
Like,
well,
some
I
of
was-
that shit was
okay,
like
so
too
the question was going to be, what is considered the first zombie film?
Night of the Living Dead.
Nope.
Mm.
The first zombie film.
Oh, White Zombie.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say. I was like,
All right.
tricky.
So, yeah.
You're back up to by 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a little breathing room now.
Yeah.
I like that. All right.
All right.
But it helps end my losing streak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, thanks, Brewer, for being on.
Thank you
Some
for
good
having me.
knowledge. Fuck your questions
I'm sorry.
every time. If you truly meant you were
Somebody's-
sorry, you would stop. If you actually meant you were sorry, sorry does not mean doing the same thing over and over again.
thought I
I
wrote
think-
something easier, Steven.
I think
I'm
what
trying.
Lowdown is trying to say is y'all need to work out a Morse code system to give
Progress,
him the answers,
not
is what he's saying.
progress,
You tap
not
on it at
perfection.
certain ways, and I get the answers, all right?
No, that's not what I mean at all. I'm giving them shit for their fucking hard ass fucking questions. They continue so. This is equivalent to when they brought the questions to GalaxyCon.
Yeah, I was going to say, at least it's not in front of a live studio
This is
audience.
right in front of a live studio audience.
And now they're going to look like
Those are just
dumbasses in
random
front of a
ones
live
that
studio audience.
I thought of, and I try to keep them at least focused to what we're talking about, because otherwise I'm going to be like, so in that one rock and roll horror that came out that was aired like 2 years ago, that was kind of a pile of shit. Who played the main character? And you're going to be like,
God.
fuck you, Murph.
I did it anyway.
I know. But you're just going to stare me down and be like, get out.
No, thanks for being on. You always
Thank
bring your fucked questions. Jesus. But no, the knowledge, I mean, I mean, you don't. They always bring the knowledge.
That's
You
right.
Guys, you fucking, consistently. So, and there was some tidbits I didn't know about, and you brought the insight to some of the movies that I hadn't seen yet.
I
And now I need to go back and watch those
Yeah.
too. So,
do it.
yeah. And you need to watch New York Ripper.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
going to happen
Yeah,
very
motherfucker.
soon.
You
Like
watch that
tonight.
shit.
Text me.
It's so unsettling.
A quick thing that I want to mention in relevance to that, it'll always already have happened, but they're putting out Romero's Amusement Park of the Dead on
Yeah.
Shudder tonight. So.
They are.
And
Yeah.
zombie solidarity.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's going to be...
I mean, it's probably a reason it didn't come out.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
Yeah,
There's
you
probably
see,
a reason.
I would say like we should do a on the chopping block, but if it's bad, I feel weird.
I don't know if it was
Yeah.
bad or
It's-
just lost.
Well, but not only that,
I
but
think they
it's
lost that
Romero, so like I don't want to take. Yeah,
I really don't want to shit on Romero.
yeah. It's but with
If
him
we
not
wanted
having
that,
any
we could-
involvement.
If we want to do that, we could just do Diary of the Dead.
Yeah, but with him not having any involvement, like maybe it'll be surprisingly good. But he had no involvement.
So if it's bad, it's not
some
Romero.
cans. Yeah, we found some cans
I
in
think
the
he-
film.
Yeah.
Exactly. If it's bad, then it's not him.
Yeah.
Because he didn't fucking do it. So, all right.
Sorry, I derailed the last moment.
No, it's fine. With that being said, everyone, stay safe.
Join us at GUIPodcast.com.
Hey guys, Scotty Big Daddy Preston here, that's right, the Geek Father, asking you to join me here every other week with friends and family of the GUI Network as we go through all the trials and tribulations of being a geeky parent. So remember, join us or cry.
My name is Amy Bogard,
And I'm Mike the Hobbit.
and we are the hosts of Deeply Upsetting, where we use our expertise to answer your most upsetting hypothetical quandaries, such as what non-winged animal deserves wings?
And what body part deserves a secret mouth?
Which cryptid is the worst roommate?
These questions and more that plague you will be answered on Deeply Upsetting, available anywhere you get your podcasts and at GUIPodcast.com.
In a world ravaged by movie studios that keep rehashing the same things, only one podcaster has the guts to make it even worse. Join Mike the Hobbit as he traverses the internet to bring you some of the best and worst ideas for reboots, remakes, and reimaginings of some of your favorite and least favorite TV and film properties. Ideas like a John Waters He-Man movie, Fantastic Four the musical, and Aliens, done entirely with marionettes. What podcast would bring this evil upon the world? This is Smack My Pitch Up. Available anywhere you get your podcasts.